Bonjour, everybody. Hi, this is Neshi Lokotz. Welcome to Communications from Home, a live stream show here on Facebook at our main fan page for the radio network, magazine, and publishing. And it is Tuesday night, November 20th. And I have our puppy, George, with me tonight. And so you might hear him in the background, like right now. You know, he was quiet up until like 2 seconds ago. He's got one of his toys that's kind of squeaky in it. And so you might hear him. You know, eventually, usually what happens is he lays down and goes to sleep. So anyway, welcome everybody. I am so glad that you're here with us tonight, and that those that are watching the recorded video, welcome to, and so glad that you're able to join us and find us with the recorded video, right? So tonight is a very special night, I think, because we have a couple of things going on here. One is that we're talking about something that I love talking about, which is earth energies and sacred sites, right? And also my guest is Karen Crowley Susani, who is, we've known each other for quite some time, acquaintances, and then getting to know each other a little bit better through Star Nations, because she's one of our contributing writers. So I'm excited about that. And I'm also excited because this topic, the way it was selected this time around, was very interesting, because Karen had, we were texting back and forth, messaging, right? And she had asked me this question about if I had had any feedback on her articles. Because, you know, she started writing, I believe it was in the summer, early this summer. Could have been June, May or June. And anyway, I was... George is pulling me. I was telling her that sometimes it's kind of difficult to get those kind of feedbacks if somebody doesn't write to me directly, right? And so anyway, I devised a plan, and that was to do a poll at the Star Nations Radio Network closed group and asked the peeps there, our community members, if they would vote on, and I listed Karen's article titles, subjects, and they voted, and Sacred Sites was the top winner, with as many people as, I think it was like 18 people that voted for the Sacred Sites. So I wanted to thank everybody for doing that. That was the first time we've ever selected that way. So kind of interesting, you know? So I just want to say hello to Jackie. Jackie's here with us. Hello there. So glad you joined us. And Connie's with us too. Connie is also one of our live stream show hosts. She does Spiritual Mysteries of Life the last Thursday of every month. So glad you're here, Connie. And Roberta's here too. Glad to see you too, Roberta. Roberta actually lives near me in the city, little town. We're not going to call it a city. I don't know. People get confused about the size of cities, right? She lives one town over. Yeah. So good to see you guys in the live chat. Thank you so much for being here. And one of the things that I'd like to do before we get started is to like and share the broadcast, the live stream show. And I've got my phone. I'm going to do that right now. And I'm going to ask you, if you're so inclined, to also like and share it. And, you know, even if you just share it with a friend, right? That works. I'm going to share it to my timeline as soon as I find it. Here we are. I'm going to make sure my sound's turned down. Don't want to get too squelchy. Okay, so we're going to love it, and we're going to share it. And I'm going to share it to my news feed just to let my friends know that I'm live streaming. And to please join me if they can, right? There we go. And we're going to post that one. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to share it over to the two closed groups that we have for Star Nations, the Radio Network and also the Academy. And those two groups are where the most active community members hang out. So I just want to say hi to them. And got to watch my spelling here. I'm live streaming. And if they would please join. All right, here we go. There we go. All right. And then we're just going to post it. I want to make sure I post it to the right groups here. I was teasing this afternoon during the afternoon live stream is that I have to slow down when I do that piece because of the bifocals. You know, you kind of try to get it in focus and hopefully you hit the right one, right? Okay, that's done. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate it. Roberta did, and so did Connie. Thank you so much. All right, so our guest tonight, Karen Crowley Susani, she resides in France. But she's here in the States visiting family for the Thanksgiving holiday. And when I contacted Karen to see if she'd be, if she had an opening in her schedule to do a live stream with me, you know, and of course, yes. And in fact, you know, working it out so that she's here in the States to do it means that one of two things. She's not up at 2 a.m. to do the show. During the regular live stream time frame, or I didn't have to move the show to the afternoon so that she could have a more comfortable early evening with us over in France. So, you know, so it all worked out, is what I'm trying to say. And Karen has a very strong background in earth energies, sacred geometry. And that's what she writes about for us in Star Nations magazine. In fact, the title of her column is Earth Energies. And, you know, most people don't know this about Karen, but she was an airline pilot. She was in the Air Force. She has a really, she was a teacher. You can shake your head, yes, professor. Yeah, no, okay, but a teacher. Yes, a teacher. And so she comes to us with a really strong background in earth energies and the sacred sites. And so that's what we're going to talk about tonight. And I'm going to bring her on so that we have her here with us. So we're not talking about her in the third person when she's right there, right? Hi, Karen. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh my gosh. You know, I think this is is this our third time with a show? I think.
Second.
Yeah. It feels like we've done this a few times, right? It's good though. And I wanted to thank you for freeing up some of your family time to be on the show with us tonight and talk about something, share information that you have about sacred sites, earth energies, and also I just thought the way that we selected the topic, you know, for to do a poll, it was like, you know, so actually our community selected the topic for us tonight.
That's fantastic.
I know, you know, and it does kind of change the energy of it, don't you think? I mean, because usually we come in with, you know, kind of a rough outline. We got the topic, we got certain points we want to hit, and so it's a little bit different.
Yeah, it feels different.
Feels different, yeah. And so we also have, it looks like somebody that you may know is Walburga Maria Richter.
Yeah.
Hi, Karen. Great to see you and hear you.
Yeah. Hi, Walburga.
Good to have you here. So glad you could join us. So tonight's topic is about earth energies and sacred sites. And one of the things that we had talked about was for those people who may just be becoming really aware of their spirituality and their soul self, their higher self, right? And when we're like that, we are drawn to certain areas, what we call sacred sites. And so in your experience, what is a good way to describe what is a sacred site? What makes them sacred?
That's a good question. Okay. I think sacred sites are special points on the earth that, you know, they have special energies that man has used to, you know, build a structure around to amplify the energies, the healing energies. Because most sacred sites that I've been to, they're healing machines, all the way from the Neolithic times to you know, things that we do now. They heal either the physical body, the emotional body, the spiritual body. They they're healing machines, and they use a combination of earth energies and the cosmos to do it.
Oh, as above, so below, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah. And if you've ever been to a sacred site, sometimes, depending on how you bring energy in and that information, some people can feel it even as they approach, right? Even if it's in a car, you can kind of feel the shift in the energy or in the air, so to speak.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I was just thinking a couple of them went through my mind really quickly. And even especially when we're at the site itself, and as we're coming into it, up to it, approaching it, how we feel it both in our physical body, but we also feel it in our mental body and our emotional body, and most definitely in our spiritual body, because that's the body that drew us there, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah,
most definitely.
It's like a magnet.
Let's go.
I know. Especially, and I'm loving the pictures that you sent to me to share tonight, because of course, I have a thing about standing stones, or all stones really, but just the ancientness of them, and how we're drawn to them naturally. It's almost, wouldn't you say that there's sacred sites, when we're drawn to them, they actually bring up memories, soul memories, wouldn't you say? Like, I feel like I've been here before, kind of feeling.
Yeah, definitely. I've felt that way with some places, like, oh my goodness. Or it's like, oh, I want to go.
Can't wait. And you've been to many sacred sites. Yes, you have.
I have.
And before we kind of jump into the ones that kind of stand out in your mind the most, when I introduced you and said most people don't realize that you were a commercial airline pilot, and so you had a very unique point of view.
Yeah, bird's eye.
Yeah, really. When you're flying over sacred sites, and okay, I got too many questions in my head. First of all, what was it like when you saw your first sacred site from above, and which one was it? Do you remember?
The most memorable would be the pyramids. I flew over those, like, wow, I want to go down there. But it was very memorable because you just see these square triangle things from way far up. And yeah.
You're awestruck, I bet.
Yes, I was very awestruck. Awestruck because you could see them. And we were flying really high. Up at 35,000 feet, higher.
And you could still make them out.
You could still see them. Yeah.
Holy smokes.
Yeah.
Okay, so and have you ever flown over a place that looked like or felt like it was a sacred site, but you didn't have a name, or you weren't aware of the name of it? You could see it, or you could feel it from that distance.
That's a good question. No, well, part of the problem is when you're taking off and landing, you're really busy and involved in the airplane, so you're not doing a lot of sightseeing.
Yeah, right. Thank goodness.
Yeah. Yes, we want to keep the airplane safe. So, and then when you're high enough, sometimes you can't see anything. But wow, what would that be? I just remember the pyramids is my big thing.
The big one. Well, what I had in my head was the medicine wheel out west, or the eagle. It's the eagle effigy that kind of covers a couple of states. It's huge because most people don't even know it's there, and then when you see it from above, or because I've only seen it by drone, I haven't actually seen it myself. That or the effigy mounds here in Wisconsin, to fly over.
I haven't seen those.
Oh my!
I really want to come and explore those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The mound builders.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that thing. Oh
There's
my
some
God.
fascinating information about those things.
I know. I should send you a book about them in Wisconsin.
Mhm.
It's fascinating, and they actually talk about the sacred geometry and the measurements from a certain constellation,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
and that sort of thing. And it's fascinating stuff. Now, with the sacred sites, and I remember asking you, which one, we'll talk about your favorite. And you said, well, I don't really have a favorite. And then I thought, well, yeah, that's kind of talking like asking, a parent, which is your favorite child,
That's right. Yes. You can't say that's my favorite child.
Right. Here's Jackie. Jackie is saying something to us. She says, yes, soul memories when we
Mm,
go to those sacred sites. Yeah. And
yeah.
Cindy is saying Mount Shasta,
Mhm.
when you fly over Mount Shasta. Yeah.
Well, it's a big, yeah. Oof. Yeah, there's a big draw when you fly over mountains.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Mount Shasta is beautiful. You don't always see it, but it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely. So, rather than asking your favorite, and you said that the pyramids are the ones that probably stand out to you the most, the ones that you flew over.
Mhm.
But do you have another? I'll just say one. um, Another one that kind of stands out in your mind and in your heart, that you were at that really kind of stuck with you. You know. Um,
Mhm. Okay, I love stones, just like you. I love big stones. I love stone circles. I love menhirs, dolmens.
mhm,
And so Ireland has a beautiful um, stone circle called the Doonbeg stone circle.
Yeah.
And it's still it's complete. It's not broken up or
Mhm, mhm.
and it has a very beautiful energy. And it
Yes.
also has some things back beyond it that are little fertility places, which are fantastic.
Mhm, mhm. Yeah, me in Ireland. I know exactly where you're talking about. Yeah, and there's so many different places in Ireland that have, because of the stone circles, right, and
Mhm.
the cairns and that sort of thing. And I do have a picture. Actually, it's your picture of Newgrange, and I thought maybe if we have time, we'll talk a little bit about that one too, because you didn't really. That was your picture, but I'm the one who put it in there. I snuck it in there.
Just tuck it in there.
So, what is it about earth energies and standing stones?
Okay, well, standing stones are usually built, well, they're always built on um, earth energies. So it's usually either a crossing of water veins or a combination of water veins and faults, or it's a crossing of water veins. And most of them, 'cause I live in Brittany, and there's tons of stones over there. There's lots and lots and lots of menhirs, and so
Mhm.
we're starting to go, explore them all. And all of them are usually the water vein that they're on, and a lot of times the stones are huge. The water vein is the width of it and the length of it, and they place it on there because what it does is it helps discharge the electromagnetic energy.
Oh,
of the
okay.
soil.
So I'm going to bring up one of the pictures that you sent me,
Okay.
and this one.
Oh, that one's perfect.
Okay.
Okay, that's uh oh, Carlos Carloas or Carloas. It's one of the largest menhirs in France, and actually, it was bigger than it was. The top broke off at some point during some time. It broke off, and I actually wrote a little blog about it because the story is that it was struck by lightning. And what I learned was that it couldn't have been struck by lightning because what they do with the menhirs, and especially
Mhm.
in Brittany, because there's a lot of there's a lot of fault energy, and so it's a very active. The energy is very active there, and so the Neolithic people put a lot of the stones to actually dissipate the energy, so they wouldn't get struck by lightning.
Okay.
So there's a huge big crossing of two waters and two fault lines. And what it does is it harmonizes the whole area. The electromagnetic energy that is reaching for the electricity when you get a thunderstorm dissipates, and it calms the area all the way around. And so there wouldn't be any lightning strikes within, I don't know, 20 or 30 kilometers.
Wow.
Yeah. And
so it broke some other way, but we really don't know how the top of it broke.
No, we don't know. We don't know, but it's also a fertility place. You can see there's a little bump down by the bottom. It looks like a little round thing. So there was.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's one on one side and one on the other side, and one is for women's fertility. The other side is for men. And we didn't know about that. We just went in there and was researching the energy and all that. And then later on, we learned back in Victorian times that when somebody was married, the women would go rub their belly on there, and the men would rub their belly on the other side. And the men wanted children, and the women wanted to be the head of the household. But the stories are move on down through time.
Yeah, that's right. Well, it was all about creation too, right? Procreation.
Yeah, procreation. Yeah, definitely.
So we have a couple of comments in the chat that we should probably talk a little bit about. Roberta is saying Sedona area vortexes and prayer rocks at the river near Sedona. We didn't realize it was sacred land. Time is different. Saw sacred lights and a sense of calmness in Sedona.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah. So that's a really memorable site for you. And Cindy says that, and she's talking about Mount Shasta. I was there for a retreat and did a sweat lodge. That had to been something to do a sweat lodge on such an intense sacred site, because it's a mountain. It radiates its energy for miles and miles and miles. So that must have been really very special.
Yeah.
That big medicine. Jackie said Medicine Wheel, Wyoming, and Mount Rainier are hers. Yeah, they say that Mount Rainier is pretty awesome and all of that. I've never seen him. I've been to Washington State 3 or 4 times, and I've never actually saw him. He's always had his coat on.
Right.
And Stephanie is saying, are the groves in Ireland also considered healing sites?
So which groves?
The sacred groves, anything that is along the rivers usually are, because they carry such high content of water,
know. I don't know. I haven't really studied or tuned into that, so I don't know the answer to that one.
Yeah, they're very, very, it's obviously very Celtic, but very druidry. That's what Mervyn Kelly would say, druidry.
Well, I know the trees. I have played with really old trees, and they're like healing. They're like sacred sites into themselves. They're fantastic.
Yeah, just to put your hands on them or to sit next to them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and Roberta is saying about the picture, wow, beautiful. It is beautiful. And Jackie's saying you can feel the power through the picture. I know. When you sent them to me, and it's like, oh my, and it's not the first time I've seen this picture, because you used it in one of your articles too.
So, yeah.
But it doesn't matter. Every time I see it, it's like, wow.
I want to go there.
I do. And Stephanie's saying, cool, I didn't know about the lightning and stones. Right.
Yeah. Oh, I have a story too.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So, my teacher, he's now my husband, but he did an experiment with a chicken coop. And so he made he designed a really nice sacred place for these chickens to live and all that kind of stuff. And these chickens, they were so happy. They grew, they laid more eggs, and they grew faster. And they were doing really well. And then there was this huge lightning storm, and it struck the feeding bin for these chickens and electrified the whole place. And the chickens just were, they freaked out. Yeah. And so they started laying eggs that were like, had a restriction in the middle. So, it was big, and then whoop, and then it was big on the other side. And the owners were like, what do we do? Our chickens, this is their livelihood. They need some good eggs. So they called him back, and what he did was the land and the place was still electrified. So he actually found a place to put a standing stone, put the standing stone in place, and it dissipated the electrical energy, and the chickens went back to normal.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah. I was like, oh my God, I didn't know you could do that with a standing stone.
Yeah. But that brings to mind a couple of different things. I know that it's like in Northern Ireland, right? Northern Ireland, when there was. Do you remember literally the Civil War that happened over UK rule, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it was actually pretty violent with the bombings and that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of people died. In Ireland, they've had at least 3 or 4 different risings, is what they call them, to gain their independence.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that there was a standing stone that was placed in Northern Ireland along the border, and it was really about peace, bringing peace and harmony to that area, and it worked, because it wasn't too long after that they did the peace agreement, and Northern Ireland was created, and so, when you're talking about the energy as in lightning and lightning strike, but when you put the standing stone in and how it dissipates that energy. Yeah. So I can understand. I mean, energy is energy, right? No matter.
Right.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
Now, see, if I had extra time, maybe in my sleep, I would actually read about that and know a little bit more about that.
Yeah, if only we could read in our sleep.
That reminds me of college days, believing that you're going to learn that stuff through osmosis.
Yeah.
Put the book underneath the pillow. Okay, so Cindy is saying, are they building new stones presently somewhere? Seems like I read it somewhere. You mean new stone circles?
Okay. Well, in our classes, we teach people how they can erect stone circles and also menhirs and stuff like that. So the first part of the class, the students learn about how to create a stone circle, and we usually do it out of sticks or sometimes plants. Plants are fantastic because they have that living energy, and when you do a nice stone circle with good measurements with plants, when you stand in the center, you can feel the plants connecting to you, and you can feel it's alive. It's fantastic. And then the stones. One of the guys in one of our certification courses, he's he works with a lot of things, but he had a friend, and the friend grows turf for a living. And this guy, he waters all his turf and everything, but there are these dry strips of, even though he's watering, you could see when you looked out, you got green and then yellow and green, yellow, brown, blah, blah. And so this guy goes, let me try something. I'm going to, if you want me to, I'll see if I can fix this. So he found a place, and a right place where the earth energies were really strong. He placed a stone there, and then a month later, everything was green.
Wow.
So that people are doing it.
And the thing is that this is ancient information being used today. This isn't something brand new that somebody just said, oh, let's give that a try. This has been used by our ancient ancestors.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just kind of get all excited about it because here we are in the 21st century and people are still using the same.
Yeah. In France, if a farmer, I guess some farmers didn't like the stones in their fields, so they'd take them out. And they realized it was a really bad idea because the stone was placed in a certain spot and it helped everything grow. And when they took it out, it
went back to what it was before.
Their farm suffered a little bit because they took it out, so nobody does it anymore. So you have these standing stones in the middle of a field.
Yeah. But actually, I've been to Ireland like 4 or 5 times, and you do see that though. You do see stones out in the middle of a field standing.
Yeah.
You do see, of course, fairy trees that are in the middle of places that, you think, why is there a tree there? And that's because nobody's going to cut down a fairy tree.
No. You don't mess with the fairies. No.
Because then they'll mess with you. Oh, Jackie, that's too bad. She keeps losing the feed. We have to catch the recording. Well, if you do, that's okay. That's all right. That's why the shows are recorded. But I see that it may be Julie. I don't know, or it could be Stephanie. They have try refreshing your screen, and that might work. Yeah, that's for sure. And so Cindy is saying, do you know where the stones are in the show The Outlanders?
No, I don't.
They're in Scotland.
In Scotland somewhere.
Yeah, it's in the northwest islands, just off. It's part of Scotland, but they're islands, and so it's called Skye, Skye.
Okay. Oh, the Skye Islands.
Yeah, the Skye Islands, and so it's in one of those islands. Now, Minnie Kansman actually has the information for that, and so does Sharon Rosenblum, because Minnie is pulling together a trip in 2020, I think it is. She hasn't really announced anything, but she's been researching stuff. So we could actually ask her which island is that has those stones. They make it look like, yeah. Well, it's all Hollywood, right? Oh my gosh. Okay. And so Roberta is saying, this is so fascinating. Thank you. Neshi, have you been to Wanawalk to the retreat camp? It's worth a quick day trip for the energy site there. Actually, no, I haven't, but I know lots of people who are readers there or have been readers there. Wanawalk, it's kind of like it's an encampment. They have like cottages there, and readers stay there over the weekend or over the summer, and people go there from all over the place to get readings done. But I haven't personally been there. Do you know why I haven't been there, Roberta? Because I've been so dang busy. I don't really get time off, and so to take a day trip over there is, yeah. How old? What, Cindy? We're not telling you our ages. You're gonna have to.
No.
I know. Yeah, I need a little bit more, Cindy. How old? What? And Jackie is saying she's loving this information. Oh, that's good. I'm so glad. And Cindy says, my family has been going there for hundreds of years. Okay. Hundreds. Okay. All right. I think she's talking about the standing stone circle in Scotland. I think that's what she's talking about. So you have another picture here that I am fascinated by. Well, let's finish the stones first, the standing stones. This is the other picture that you sent to me. And so I thought maybe there was a story that goes along with this one.
Yes, this one. This is Cairgorneck, I think. Stone circle. standing stone. And what was interesting about this place was when we went to look at it closer, you could see where there was different animals came and lay down right beside it. And so they come and animals are really intuitive, and they find really nice vortexes, and there's earth vortexes, and they recharge their energy. And so these animals are coming to recharge their energies by this.
Wait a second. Are you running your hands over your computer?
I raised it a little bit. Sorry.
We hear this scratchy kind of sound. It's like,
okay, I won't touch.
Rubbing something on the tabletop or something. Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Okay, so animals actually are drawn to a sacred site for
this particular one. Yes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. This one actually works with your lungs. It's very healing for your lungs, and it was just fascinating to see all these little places where like deer would lay down and sleep. And it was very sweet. Yeah.
Yeah, because one of the things, like in feng shui, one of the things that we learn is about ley lines, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ley lines, guys. I don't know. And then let's see if I can get down to make a comment. It's kind of far ways down. Ley lines, and I know that cats really love ley lines, whereas dogs, not really. Oh shoot, it's not gonna post. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna ask. I don't know if it's Julie or if it's Stephanie that's in the chat. If you could put in the comments ley lines, ley lines, so that people know the spelling of that. I'd appreciate it. Thanks. So those ley lines, and I know that ley lines can have underground water flowing underneath them, right? And so when we're looking at this kind of standing stone, and animals are drawn to it for healing purposes, really, when you think about it, right? Because they're recharging their energy.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about the energy that's flowing under there?
There are 2 water lines.
Water lines. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So 2 big water lines, and they put the stone right on the center of the crossing of the water lines.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. And so they're going there to recharge.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go there.
I know.
I want to be there.
No, it was a wonderful stone. It had really good energy.
Well, and that tree, I I was looking at the tree and I thought, oh my gosh, it's so pretty. It's so pretty.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to get caught up with people in the chat here. We have Donnie's with us. Hey, hello all, love and light. Same to you, Donnie. Thanks for being here. Let's see. Oh, okay. I think this is Stephanie. She says, hey, peeps, remember there's a 5 to 15-second delay in the broadcast, and the host may not see your questions immediately. Oh, okay, good. Thank you, Steph. When you ask questions, make sure they're clear. Because by the time we get to them, it's like, how old what? That's why, because you're right. We got a little bit of a delay. And Jackie really loves that tree, too. She says, very powerful.
Mm-hmm.
And Connie loves the information. Thank you, Connie. And Donnie put into the comments ley lines. Thank you, Donnie. I appreciate that. And yeah. And it's actually Ley.
Yeah, Ley. I got to run and get my charger. I'll be right back.
Okay. All righty.
Okay, sorry.
That's okay. That's all right. And so, oh, good. And then Stephanie, thank you so much for putting in that information about ley lines from Wikipedia. Perfect. It helps people understand, know what does that mean, because I remember when I first started studying earth energies and people were talking about ley lines, and I thought, what the heck is that? And you don't even know that it's spelled Ley. So, yeah. Okay.
I'm back. Sorry.
That's all right. Good. I was just saying that when I first started studying earth energies and going to a class, and they were talking about ley lines, I had no idea what they were talking. I thought it was spelled LAY as well,
Mm-hmm.
and so, learning about them through feng shui from that perspective was very helpful. But when we're talking about standing stones, and I know that we can use those in feng shui too, but to me, that is taking the information even deeper and going to a more ancient application. I know feng shui is ancient, but this is really working with stone people, you know? Yeah, yeah. I got to ask you this, Karen. When you're at sites like this, because I'm sure you do this, that when you approach the standing stone and you put your hand on, do you do that? Yeah.
Yeah.
I would too. Come on. You're right there. Of course, I would ask permission first, but that's just coming from my culture.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you put your hand on the stone, what's your first impression? What do they usually give you first?
Well, the way I work is I'm tuning into the energy of the stone, and I'm working with it through my chakras. So I'm seeing where the stone works with my body and how it works with my energy system.
Oh.
And a lot of the stones, most all of them, they connect you to the earth and open your central channel, and then you go, and it goes up to the cosmos, and then where in the chakra system does it work? And this one works with the lungs and the heart area, and some of them for me are in the are fertility stones, and so you feel them in the second chakra.
Yeah.
Some of them are in the crown, and open your crown, you can feel this tickling at the top of
Yeah,
your head,
yeah,
and boom.
yeah, definitely. Because the standing stones in Ireland, most definitely had that feeling at the crown,
Mm-hmm.
and feeling the universal energy is what I call it, that prana,
Mm-hmm.
running down the Hara line, right,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
down into the earth, and it is like. And there was at certain times, whichever chakra that it's working with, it almost feels expansive.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's like boom, the heart opens.
It's no mistake. Let me tell you that. You
Yeah.
won't say, "Gee, I wonder what that was." No,
Yeah.
it's pretty distinctive. It's
Mm-hmm.
pretty distinctive. Yeah. And Donnie's asking a question. He says, "Same energy as in a sacred mountain, correct?"
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Different mountains have different energies, and
Yeah.
different trees have different energies, and it's just where you connect and feel to it.
Yeah. Oh, but Donnie, you raised such a good question. You really did. Because what went through my mind as you were answering that, Karen, is that, you know, in the creation of Turtle Island, let's just stay here in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
We could do the whole world, but it's just easier. It's, microcosm, right? And consider where the mountain ranges are in the
Mm-hmm.
United States. Is that the placement of those is by design. It's
Mm-hmm.
not. It's not by chance or happenstance. It's by design. So, what energies are the mountains assisting with in those areas? That would be a fascinating question. I wonder if anybody's asked that to those people who do studying mountain ranges. Do you know?
I have no idea.
See, another question
That's
I
it.
have
Yeah.
to research.
Oh my gosh. There's an endless amount of things to research.
Oh, I know. Okay, so here I got to keep track of the time here. We got about 15 minutes or so. Here's another picture that you shared with me. I'm going to give it a solo so everybody can really see it. This is a great picture. Whoever took this, did you take this picture
Yeah, with my drone.
with your drone? You wait. I got to get your picture. You're not in camera. You have a drone?
I have a drone. Yes.
Oh my God! I
Yeah,
didn't
because
know
I
that.
want to get the pictures of sacred sites from above, because
Yeah,
you know, a lot of things you can't see from ground level.
that's right. That's right. Because when I'm in my spare time, I'm going to be looking for video for here in Wisconsin, drone video where
Hmm.
they fly over the effigy mounds, because it's only from the air that you can actually get the full story that they tell.
Right? Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Ah, very interesting. And it makes sense. I mean, you're once a pilot, always a pilot. You probably, have
Yeah,
that.
it's taken me a little while to figure it out because it's different than sitting inside an airplane. But I've got it now.
Well, when I saw this picture, I thought, "Oh my God, how did they, who took this picture?" That's what I wanted to know. And how did they get up at that angle? And drone, obviously. Yes. All right. So tell us about this picture. What are we seeing here?
Okay, we're seeing it's called a chakra path, and it's the design is like actually a church. You can see in the beginning that would be the apse, the little uh, whatever house-like shaped thing with the square and the circle in there. So that would be the most sacred place of the church, or in this thing, the chakra path. And then the chakras go backwards. So you have the seventh, the sixth, and then the first is at the far end there.
Okay.
And we do this in a class, and because churches actually have an energetic chakra path going up the center of them, just kind of like this does right here.
Mm. Uh-huh.
And it's a fantastic way to tune up your chakras, open up your energy system, connect to the heavens, to the earth, clean your whole energy system. It's fantastic. And then the apps part is the point. Well, it's the strongest point, because we found the earth energies to work with. So we found either water crossings or um, faults, or a really strong vortex of energy that's emanating from the earth.
Mhm.
And then with the sacred geometry, we amplified it and make it stronger. And so this one really opens your heart. It's fantastic. It's
Yeah.
oh.
I just love this. I really do. And where is this located?
This is in Chile. We built it in
Oh,
Chile.
yeah. In Chile. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Oh,
So
oh, oh, we have a video too.
do you really? Would you
Yes,
like to share that with, can you share that with us?
yeah, we can. I can. I don't know where I can do that, but
Well, is it a YouTube? Is
it's
it
a
just
YouTube
a
video.
video
Yeah.
video?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So after the show, what you can do, if it's a YouTube, you can just put the link in the comment section,
Uh-huh.
and everybody will be able to see it then. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Um,
So do I do it in the team chat place? Oh, no.
um, well, you can if you want. I think I can grab it from there. Well, my comment section in Be Live isn't really working right now.
Oh, okay.
So why don't you do this? Why don't you just send it to me in Messenger, and then I'll post it
Okay.
for you. Okay?
Okay.
That
Perfect.
will that'll probably be easiest.
Okay. No
Um,
problem.
all right. And so Stephanie is saying, would this be like the stones the Rosslyn Chapel was built upon? Um, that's a good question.
The stones.
The Rosslyn Chapel.
So so the one in Scotland,
I think so.
Scotland,
Rosalind. Yeah.
and then the stones, as in um, I don't know
Maybe
what
what you're talking about is the foundation stones.
the foundation stones.
You know.
Um, I don't know.
Hmm.
Uh, because I don't know what Rosalind Chapel was, which stones they
Built-
were built on.
Okay.
Um, the pattern of the chakra path is the same. It's a pattern that most churches are built with. It's in connection with the solstices, the sunrises and the sunsets and the pattern changes with different latitudes. And actually, my next article in December, I'm going to be writing a little bit about that with the solstices and patterns of the churches and stuff like that.
Yeah. Excellent.
So I don't know if that answers the question or not. But.
Well, we know this for sure, is that those ancient churches were built upon pagan sites usually, right?
Yeah.
And so chances are that the stones and the sacred geometry that was used is still there underneath all of that. So, and it was built upon, and chances are that they use the same sacred geometry that you were talking about the churches. And so, and this is a good question for those in the chat. Did you know about the layout of churches and using the chakras? And so that when you walk into a cathedral, into a church, you're actually receiving a healing by being in there. Is that correct? Right? That's what you were talking about.
Yeah, a lot of times. Okay, we could do a quick segue to the where people can find the most healing spots in churches. So of course the altar is, and lots of times you can't go up to the altar. But like a lot of churches or cathedrals, they have side chapels, and they're dedicated to a saint or mostly saints. And a lot of those, if you stand right in front, look up. So if you look up in churches, you can see that they have beautiful artwork on the top, where all the arches come in, and so there's points of energy. And so lots of times if you stand right below one of those points, that is usually a really good energy point. Also, where the churches, you know how they have a cross, where you have the length of the church, and then you have the arms, and I'm forgetting the technical terms of the church. So you have the cross, and right at that cross point, right here, if you look up, there's usually a beautiful point of energy or a big dome. And the domes are usually octagons, and the octagons relate to the air element of your body, and it helps lift up your spirit and your elevate your energy. And if you stand there, that's a fantastic place usually in most churches. Or usually there's at least one side chapel before you get to the apse, and on either side. And many times those have really good energy right before there. You step close to them, and they'll have a nice energy.
They feel good. They feel
good. So a lot of them, the Marys are. A lot of the Marys are into the heart energy, opening the heart. Lots of times they're on a green vortex. Some Saint Michael, if you find a Saint Michael, he is fantastic. Lots of times he's on a very specific earth energy point, which has to do, he's on a yellow fault line, the good ones. Not all of them are like that, but he's on a yellow fault line, and the yellow fault line is underneath water. And so what this is this particular fault energy is hot, but it's also the energy bubbles up, and so it bubbles up past the water, creates the steam, and it opens up all the channels of your body and gives you a cleansing, energetic cleansing. And it's one of my favorite points. I love Saint Michael.
Wow. Thank you for sharing that.
And the energy goes up, and I always look for Saint Michael. Like, where is he? Where is he? Is he here? Is he here? I love his point. Where is he?
Well, the thing is that, the question I asked is that anybody knew about the layout of a church or cathedral that coordinates with our chakras so that we receive a healing, when we're in there, right? And a couple of people answered. They were saying, Stephanie is saying the energy and layouts of the church was news to me. Bonnie saying, no, I didn't, but it makes sense.
Yeah. So if you walk up the center of churches and you look up, lots of times you'll see points of energy, and they connect to the chakras, and the chakra paths aren't always just first, second, third, fourth. Sometimes it's first, second, a blend of second and third. But if you start kind of tuning in, and sometimes it takes a minute or two for your body to go, oh, I feel the energy. It's not always like, boom, I got it.
Right.
Sometimes, and not everybody is grounded in their bodies, and so sometimes it takes a while to open that first chakra and get there.
To sense that, yeah. This is fascinating information. I'm so glad we listened to our community and said, talk about right. I know that you've written about this for Star Nations, but to be able to hear you talk about it in person, but you're also going into it a little bit deeper than you did even in the articles. So,
well, yeah, you only have so much.
You only have 1,200 word max.
Right.
Who did that to you anyway? Me.
Yeah, I don't know.
Roberta's saying our son picked up a stone at a stream side in Scotland and had to be brought back to this plane by a friend after 30 minutes. He said he knew he was sitting there, but was not there, and that the light and color was different. I asked him if he had kept that rock. Without a doubt, Mom. Well, and Donnie is saying, I was just wondering if they coordinated with the chakra energy. I don't know if you're still talking about the mountains, maybe, but most definitely the churches, if you're referring to the churches. Yeah. And what we did is we listed your links for Sacred Geometry World. And the bouldermasterbuilders.com and your Facebook page, fan page for you.
Fantastic. Oh, and I have an Instagram that I talk a lot about sacred sites. I give a lot of information on the Instagram.
And your pictures are holy smokes on Instagram. I'm liking them and have the heart eyes and that kind of thing. Because when you see Star Nations, right, or that's us, that's me. So I don't know. Stephanie is so good at doing this stuff. I suppose I could do it too. Splitting. I was going to say going out to Instagram and grabbing your link or your name there so that people, if they want to follow you on Instagram or at least check you out.
It's Boulder_master_builders.
Yeah.
If that helps.
Well, I would do that, but I don't know why, but in Be Live tonight, I can't go in and write comments.
No.
I don't know why. They don't want me to write comments, I guess, tonight. That's okay. That's all right. So I just wanted to thank you, because we're at the top of the hour. That went by like that, didn't it?
Yeah, it really did.
It really did. But I wanted to thank you for taking the time out of your family vacation and to spend time with us and talk about sacred sites. You gave us such great information and stuff we didn't even know about.
Well,
how fantastic is that? You're a great teacher.
Oh, well, thank you.
I know that I got the educational piece. I thought you were a professor, but you tell us a little bit about that. What do you teach? Because you are a teacher.
I teach about earth energies and sacred geometry and sacred sites. Going to be doing some tours hopefully this next year.
Oh, good.
Working on a Brittany tour. I can't wait. We're discovering all the points.
Well, keep us informed of what you're doing. You're part of Star Nation's team, and so you have the ability to share whatever posts that you do at on your fan page. You can always share it over to our fan page, and we will
Okay.
really follow you.
Oh,
And
okay. Well, thanks.
yeah. I mean, come on, we can help each other, right?
Yeah, that's true, huh? Absolutely.
All right. So, in the last couple minute or so here, is there anything that you'd like to share with our audience that you haven't already said, and especially if you have any classes coming up or anything like that?
Well, we have a Bhutan trip that's in June that we're organizing. We'll be doing sacred site, working with the sacred sites there, working with sensing how the energy works with the chakras and with the different stupas. And Bhutan is absolutely beautiful. It's a gorgeous place. And that's on our website, the Boulder Center for Master Builders website. And we hope to be going to Yucatan in 2020. And that's about it right now. We're working on certifications and where you get to learn how to make stone circles and chakra paths and labyrinths and all kinds of good stuff.
Wow, that's good stuff.
Yeah.
Good stuff. I just want to show very quickly. This is the cover of the magazine that one of Karen's articles appears in. I believe this is the August issue of Star Nations magazine. So if you're looking for when is it? It's the August issue. So you know that it's the whale on the front of it. It's a back issue. And this is the article that appeared in it. Alignments of the sun is one of them. And the next one is in the September issue. That's the one with the hummingbird, taken by a Michigan lady, I might add. And the article there is, whoops. This one is this is your Fibonacci article, and that's in this last issue, the November issue. And so the other one was Adventures at Sacred Sites, wasn't it?
Yeah, the Adventures at Sacred Sites. Yeah.
Yeah, in this issue, in the September issue. So if you're looking for the articles that Karen has written in Star Nations magazine, you want to go to the ones that we spoke of tonight. You want to go to the August issue and the September issue. And I have to say, your November issue. This is the cover for the November, but this article, when I read it through the first time, is like, holy cow. This, if you're interested in sacred geometry and the golden mean, the divine proportions, you got to read this article because it's really, really good.
Well, thank you.
Well, the teacher in you certainly came out in that article, most definitely. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. All right. So, yeah, we're past the top of the hour. I just want to thank everybody for being with us tonight. And we all learned something tonight, didn't we?
Yeah. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. And everybody, please, if I'm going to be doing a show tomorrow afternoon with Minnie Kansman, that's Nature Adventures. And we also have the live stream tomorrow, the afternoon live stream. And we also have Soul Connections at 7 p.m. Eastern with Polly Jola Bay. So join us tomorrow. And if we don't get to see you tomorrow, enjoy your Thanksgiving holiday. Those that are celebrating here in the United States, enjoy your holiday. And with that, Bama Mina, until we see each other again. Thanks, Karen.
Thank you.
Good night,
See you later.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.